The following program is a SUTV production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Good evening, Salisbury, and welcome to SUTV Sports Night. I'm Travis Nardello.
I'm Amir Carter.
I'm Hayden Sawyer.
I'm Will Evington.
And I'm Michael McGraw.
Now let's get started.
Let's get started with some SU sports recap.
The number 3 Salisbury University field hockey team will be going into the next round of the Division III tournament. They defeated number 13 Wellesley College 4-1, punching in their ticket to move on to the next round. Samantha Johnson, who is usually known for her assists, actually showed off her offensive skills and scored 3 goals, and Mallory Elliott also applied to that with 1 goal. The great offensive efforts have moved them on to their 12th national semifinal appearance, and they will play Skidmore College for this Saturday at the USA Field Hockey Training Center in Virginia Beach. Also, congratulations to Courtney Jansen and Samantha Johnson making all regional first team, and Katie Hastings and Mallory Elliott making all regional second team.
The volleyball team fell in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Stevenson 3-0. The scores were 25-23, 25-14, and 25-20 respectively. Maddie Smith led the Seagulls with 7 kills, while Colleen White recorded the team's only block. Salisbury finished the season with a fantastic record of 29-6. All right, let's get started with some NFL. What happened this weekend?
Panthers, Patriots. That's the most recent game, so let's start talking about that first. What do you guys think about the ending? Let's just skip to that.
I think it was the right call. I mean, I don't think that Gronkowski really had a plan in the ball, so I honestly believe that it was the right call in the situation, and I feel like Tom Brady took it a little too far when he was arguing with the referee.
Ryan Mallett also yelled at the refs pretty good, too, after the game, so I wonder if they'll get fined for that.
Probably not, because he's Tom Brady.
Well, I mean, Tom Brady, he also said that he wasn't actually arguing in a post-game interview. He actually said he didn't say anything, which is kind of
He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, didn't look like that walking back to the locker
I
room.
saw the mouth movement while I was going out of the
Exactly.
stadium.
You saw hand gestures and the mouth movements.
So I thought it was an uncatchable ball. I mean, I don't think Gronkowski would have got to the ball anyway, but I think that was a good no call because I did not want the Pacers to win because Cam Newton was playing great. He was showing that he can throw the ball, and he's proven himself, and he's showing his potential more and more, and showing that he's up there with everybody else. But, I mean, in that situation, it's hard for referees to make calls like that. It's a lot of pressure. And with the Panthers as the home team and that crowd in the blackout yelling, I think I would have made the same call. What do you think, Will?
I think I would have made the call personally. I think the defender definitely got in the way of Gronkowski. I think he at least had some kind of chance of coming back and making a diving catch for the ball. And we all know how athletic Gronkowski is. I mean,
Sure.
he might have been able to make that play. I disagree with the uncatchable ball call. So I think they definitely.
Did you see how low it was?
And the defender was
And the
right
other
in
defender,
position.
he came up.
He was right in
anyway.
position.
The call should have been made. The contact began before the ball was touched by anyone, before the ball even got to the end zone. The only reason why it even looked uncatchable was because Kuechly drew Gronkowski through the back of the end zone. If Kuechly's not face guarding, not looking at the ball at all, and has his arms around Gronkowski, I think for sure he can come back and make a play on it.
So if the defenders turn square up with him, and he's not face guarding, he's side by side, wouldn't he just step up and that would have been an interception?
But he was guarding him. The fact that he was driving him out and not allowing Gronkowski to compete for the ball. That's where I can see it being a pass interference penalty call.
I mean, you could definitely make the argument. There was definitely pass interference there. The only argument is whether it was a catchable ball and whether it was the call should have been made, because you don't want to give them the ball on the 1 yard line. Just give them an easy score. I mean, that wouldn't be the best way to end the game.
Well, I think they wanted the Panthers to continue their winning streak because of that 6 games now. It's a good thing for them because the Panthers have not been that good in the past couple of years. We all know that. So the Patriots got
if you think about it, isn't there pass interference on pretty much every single touch or throw to the end zone in the last play of the game?
Yeah.
True.
So yeah, that's a good point because it's gonna. I mean, that crunch time is always a call that goes some way.
Yeah, but there's
we
never
didn't
a
include it.
player driving out the receiver out of the end zone.
Right.
There's always some
Right.
kind of contact, and you don't have to call every little
Well, I
bitty
mean,
thing. at
But
the
don't
end
you
of the
think
game.
Gronkowski should have showed more emotion? I mean, it seemed like he
Well,
was
he thought
getting
the call was made.
Yeah,
after
the call
he was-
call
Yeah.
was made,
The
but
call
then
was
they
But wouldn't you
called it
put
off.
more effort into showing that you couldn't get to the ball? Like what there's like it didn't seem like I would have acted, I would have failed or something, or just looked like I was just what you gotta. It's to win the game. If the game's on the line in that situation, I'm acting like he just blew me up.
Well, I mean, he was hugging him. I mean, you don't really got to do much acting there. He had his arms around Gronkowski. I mean,
I don't know. Gronk
Kuechly didn't allow Gronkowski to compete for the ball. I think that constitutes.
That by
as-
definition
You know,
So
is
it's pass interference.
I guess it's pass interference.
But
The
we
only,
all
the
wanted
only
the call
reason
to
they call it
happen because we all hate the
uncatchable is
Patriots.
because it
Because
got kicked
Can we
off.
agree that we all hate the Patriots and wanted to call
Yes,
them?
I'll agree
sad.
with that.
It's wrong, but we're satisfied with that.
I'm just
satisfied.
sick of seeing games come down to being decided by the referees.
Exactly.
That's what,
Agreed.
They should start letting them review it, right? Should they be allowed to
Review
review
they
the calls?
you should not be allowed to review
You can't
penalties.
a call like that. You can't make a case that you should review that because that's a big difference.
No, because that opens the door for too many
Yeah.
controversial
Too many times?
decisions.
Yeah.
So
mean,
not
that's-
even if they make a rule like 2 minutes left.
But I mean,
fourth
that's up to the
quarter,
discretion
we
of
still
the
can't
ref.
let it happen.
I mean,
No, I mean that's like arguing balls and strikes in baseball. You can't review that.
that's up to the
It's
discretion
all on the
of the ref.
discretion of the umpire.
Yeah, you
Human
can't-
error is part of the equation. It's just you got to make the call if it's there.
Agreed.
Now the Patriots play the Broncos next, and we know Peyton. Sorry, wrong Manning. Peyton and Brady is always a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Is this game going to fuel up the Patriots more to beat the Broncos?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think the Patriots have
I
much of a
don't-
shot. The way
I don't-
the way Manning is playing right now, I don't think anyone could really beat him. He just showed it when
Unless
they
your
beat the Chiefs.
last name is Luck.
Unless your last name is Luck. But I mean, we've all seen what happens to Payton when he gets in the big spotlight. He has the tendency to chip. But against Brady, he's never really shown that tendency. He usually stays calm, cool, collected. The one thing I like about
He's
Manning
had his
this
past with Brady where he hasn't been able to get it
True.
done.
Isn't
But
Brady
he's-
9-4 against
Brady's
Peyton?
9-4.
He's 9-4.
in their series. 2-1 in the playoffs.
Where's the game being played this weekend? Is it at Denver?
Foxborough.
Oh,
It's in
well, then
Foxborough.
You never know what's going to happen. You know, the Patriots tend. I'm not saying it's going to come down to this, but the Patriots tend to get more calls their way at home.
I mean, those New England fans are pretty rowdy. So I mean, you can expect some fireworks there.
Now going back with controversial calls, did you guys see the Ahmad Brooks
Hit on
and
Drew
Drew Brees
Brees.
hit?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia. We love UVA, even though how bad or terrible they are that year. And Ahmad Brooks, I remember watching him in middle school when we beat Florida State, and he had that last play. It was just ridiculous. So I love Ahmad Brooks. I've been following him for a long time. I think this is one of the dumbest calls I've ever seen in the NFL.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Because they're basically saying, we can't hit you that hard if you're a quarterback. If this was RG3, Cam Newton, Kaepernick, Russell Wilson, even Andrew Luck, they would have not called that. It's the
pocket passers.
golden
It's the elite-
boy.
it's the elite-
The
it's
Drew
the elite
Brees,
passers.
it paid Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and maybe Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Aaron Rodgers would have got hit. They would have called that instantly.
Yeah.
So, like,
I agree with you.
I agree with what Ray Lewis said. How it's an embarrassment to the game to have a flag on that play. I mean, basically, we're turning this into flag football. The way this is turning into, it's getting embarrassing. You can't call something because you got hit too hard. That's the point of football. It's a physical game. People get hurt. That's why you get paid millions of dollars to play it.
And also, Drew Brees is a little guy, too. Like, I mean, Peyton and them were like 6'4".
I mean, there was no helmet.
Brees
to
is
helmet.
what, 5'11" and a half?
There
was no helmet to helmet. It wasn't illegal hands
It was
to
a
the
clean
face.
hit.
It was clean. It's
It was
just,
a completely clean hit. It was
He
just
didn't
really
The
kill
refs
him.
just hear the loud smack of the pads and
Yeah.
they think
Right.
you got
See,
it.
I think
You
they
gotta
broke
throw
the
it.
sound barrier for the allowed hit. See, and when it reached a certain mark, you have to throw the flag, I think. Oh, it was just, Ray Lewis said he'd pay half. Teddy Bruschi said he also pay. And he said Drew Brees needs to toughen up. Do we think they need to toughen up? But
Oh, yeah. I
Peyton
don't
and them,
think it's on-
or they're just being smart.
I mean, I think Drew Brees doesn't have to toughen up. I think it's the referees
I mean,
need to
But
know
he
that.
said, as soon as I got hit, I knew it was a penalty. Like, come on now. You can't.
Well, you
say that.
gotta do what you said. You gotta sell the penalty.
You
Yeah.
right. You right. You
I
got.
mean,
all right,
you
right.
got to
you
do
right.
what you got to do to win. If Breeze has got to do what he has to do to get those yards. I
Well, I mean, did you see the replay? It didn't look not painful at all. I mean, Bree's head was here while his body was over.
I mean, but Breeze lowered into the hit. I mean, if you watch the
He
replay,
didn't lower in.
Yeah.
He fell. It
he was
like
falling.
I mean,
The
not
impact.
on purpose, but he did lower into the hit. Like, he got hit so hard, his body went down.
And his head went
in
up.
his head.
oh my gosh, I watched it like 8
He-
times.
it looked like he got
I kept going
whiplash.
back and forth.
Looked like he got whiplash.
So the problem, the biggest problem is that as a defensive player, you have to go 100% every time. Because in football overall, you have to go 100%. If players start thinking, I have to slow down, that's going to cause more injuries. Football coaches always say go 100% every time. If they start going 85 or 90, I just think that's going to cause more people to get hurt, or more injuries, or more offenses scoring because players are scared to be themselves. As a defensive player, you have to be an animal.
Well, what they're
Exactly.
probably looking at with this, it was how close to the head it was, and that's really the way the game's changing now. Is the business side of it is the quarterback is part of the business side, all the money going toward the quarterback, and if they're going to do whatever they can to protect him, and that is reasonable. But I personally don't agree with the hit, but I can see where the referees in the NFL might be coming from, where you want to get them away from the head,
Yeah, I
head
mean,
and neck
with all-
area as much as possible.
With all the talk about concussions and the links to suicide and things along those lines, of course they're going to want the safety of the players, but you got to remember what this game was built on. You got to remember the old days when Ray Lewis used to take someone's head off. I remember when Ray Lewis was playing against the Bengals a couple of years back and he hit Shad Johnson, and it looked like a completely legal hit, and they threw a flag on him too. And Johnson said that he got hit in the head, but it obviously didn't. But they still flagged it because it was too hard hit. We're seeing this more often in coming years. I think we're going to see it even more often. It's a disturbing trend, and I don't like the way it's going.
Yeah. Now back to Peyton. Let's go back to Peyton. Playing the Chiefs.
Broncos and Chiefs.
Were you guys surprised about the outcome?
No.
I wasn't
No.
very
You
surprised
weren't?
at all.
I mean, the one thing that Payton did so well is if you look at the time that it took for him to release the ball, it was consistently under 3 seconds. The amount of time Payton stays in the pocket with the ball is remarkable. Most guys will hold the ball for 4 or 5 seconds looking for a target. Payton will get the ball and immediately find a target and throw. That is one of the things that he is incredibly good at, and that's one of the reasons he's really successful this year.
And the biggest surprise for me from this game really was the lack of pressure that Kansas City was able to get on Peyton.
Yeah.
I don't think Peyton got hit at all until the fourth quarter, was it?
I mean, they never had a chance to get to him. He was releasing it so quickly.
Exactly.
And it seemed like it was going to be close to, 10-7, type of thing. But we slowly start the Broncos getting away. And Demaryius Thomas was unstoppable. I like him a lot.
I think it was that high altitude though. The Chiefs,
Exactly.
Chiefs couldn't extend that the ferocity over all 4 quarters. They got it all out in the first half, and the altitude eventually got to them. But I think that we'll see a different Chiefs team when they're playing back in Kansas City.
Now, Welker got a concussion, and he said he was okay. He got cleared, but then symptoms came back up again, so he probably won't be playing versus the Patriots. How
What a crush.
serious is this? This is like,
I don't think it's that serious at all because you've seen, Wes Welker has 9 touchdowns this year.
yeah.
But so does Julius Thomas, so does Demaryius Thomas. Peyton Manning has so many weapons that missing Wes
Eric Decker.
Welker
Peyton-
isn't.
Peyton Manning can go without Wes Welker. He'll still be a successful quarterback. He's shown multiple times that he doesn't really need a superstar receiver in order to make plays. Peyton makes receivers look good. He doesn't need receivers to make him look good, and that's just the way he's played his entire career.
Even without Welker, the depth that the Broncos have, it
And
can't really
also,
be matched by
I mean,
any other team, I think.
You could
in
make the
NFL
argument
right
that the
now.
Broncos have the best receiving core in the NFL, and when you add that to the fact that you have Peyton Manning at quarterback, you've got an unstoppable duo.
Yeah.
So you call unfair, really unfair, I
It-
think. With
Yeah,
Wes
pretty much.
Welker, I
They're-
mean, you got to worry about the
Yeah.
out route, the Demaryius Thomas on the fly, and the Eric Decker with a it's like, how coaches say we got to worry about this one specific guy. No, it's like we got to worry about the whole
Yeah.
spread.
The development of Noshawn Marino has been great.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
And
He's
and,
really
adding
become-
Monty Ball and the fact that too is oh my
The
God.
one thing I'm reminded of, if you remember when the Cardinals played the Steelers in the playoffs, that receiving core with Fitzgerald, Bolden, you got guys that can run the deep route, you got guys that can run a middle route, you got guys that can run a short route for high percentage passes. You got such a well-rounded offense in Denver that's really almost impossible to stop it because Payton can make any type of throw and his receivers can run any type of route and they do it to perfection.
But I think I'm kind of I know it's gonna sound weird when I say this, but I'm kind of happy the Chiefs lost because when you're undefeated, and you're the Chiefs, and that's a lot of pressure. Every week they went into like, okay, you guys are gonna lose this week, and then they win. And we saw the Patriots, and they crumbled in the Super Bowl, and that's the Patriots. So I think it's good that they kind of lost, and now everybody's over that. Now they can bounce back and beat the Chargers.
The thing about the Chiefs this year is that, yeah, they were 9-0, and they're 9-0 for a reason. They're a really good team. But the past couple of weeks, they're not winning by a lot of points. It's a close game, and their defense wins the game for them. But their defense couldn't win the game for them against Peyton Manning. But they're still going to easily make the playoffs in the AFC. They're going to have a really good season.
Well, I mean, I think it was more of a statement about how good the offense in Denver is rather than the defense in Kansas, because even though Kansas hasn't played many good teams, their defense is definitely elite.
Oh, yeah.
Their defense is beyond incredible. And Payton just showed that even the best defenses could have holes in it. I feel like this year's Payton,
I think he's proved that in the past, though.
I mean, this year's
it is Peyton Manning.
I feel like this year's Payton could even find holes in the Ravens' 2000 defense. I mean, the way he's playing right now, I don't know if anyone could really stop him.
I don't know. I think they'll be stopped. They're going to win the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're going to only have one loss under their. I think they're going to lose one more game.
The Chiefs are going to. They know they need to win against Denver at home if they want to be at home for all of the playoffs. Because if you lose to Denver in Kansas City, you know you're going to end up playing them in Denver again, and that's not something you want to do.
Kansas City can end up going 13-3 and have a road playoff game, which would just be not fair to them.
Yeah.
Now, Will, you're a Redskins fan. You like all the great players for the Redskins, and Darryl Green said RG3 is not a leader. What do you think?
I kind of have to agree with him. I think RG3 is the leader that they have right now because nobody else really can be. Because he says you need a leader on offense. London Fletcher is obviously the moral leader of the entire team and definitely the leader on the defense. But he thinks you need somebody on offense because it's more of an offensive game. And you usually look to your veterans, so automatically it'd probably be Santana Moss. But Santana Moss definitely isn't. He's not that leadership kind of role. RG3 has that leadership kind of role. It's just so strange that the whole team is rallying behind such a young guy.
Yeah.
So hold up. So who was the leader of the Ravens last year? It was Ray Lewis.
It was Ray Lewis.
It was Ray Lewis.
Oh yeah, it was Ray Lewis.
So in situations like that, so I think you just have to say London Fletcher's the leader, though.
Absolutely.
I know I threw Ray Lewis' name out there, and that's obvious who's the leader for the Ravens. But yeah, RG3, he's not a leader. Yeah, he's like the Flacco situation. Like he's good, and he comes in when we need him every now and then. But he's
not very vocal.
We just don't look him.
He's not a very vocal guy. He's kind of a quiet guy in the media. I mean, at least in the interviews I've seen him in. He doesn't really say many outrageous things. I haven't really seen him trying to get the team pumped up much. I mean, I don't really watch the Redskins games that often.
I mean, RG3 is always trying to get his team pumped up. It's you don't usually look to such a young guy to do that.
Exactly.
You think of people like Drew Brees. He's always getting his team so hyped up, but he's a long-term veteran.
Right.
I mean, Peyton Manning, he's not he doesn't try to get his team pumped up, but you can rally behind such a strong leader, such a veteran player. It's just strange that they're rallying behind such a young guy.
So it's not that he has to prove himself. It's just it's not his time yet.
It's not his time.
It's not his time yet. Okay. You guys want to talk about the Steelers versus Lions a little bit? Because
Steelers
are making a comeback. Let's go. Tied with the Ravens. Bengals be coming next. All we got to do is win out and have the Bengals lose.
Talk about halftime adjustments.
Yeah. The Lions had 27 points in the second quarter. Didn't score in any other quarters, though. So that shows our defense is still good. We have, the oldest defensive coordinator. He's great.
Ours,
I love him so much.
You can especially see it on that. After that 70-yard pass they had to Johnson in the first half, they try to go back to it again. And there's 3 Steelers right there waiting for it.
Yeah, but you'd think if you toss it up to Megatron.
That's the play.
In between 3 defenders, know there's a chance you can make it.
But a credit to the Steelers' defense
Yes.
for sure
Yes.
for watching.
Yeah, and Ben
for getting on
Roethlisberger
top
did
of
real
it.
good with 367 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Ben Roethlisberger actually looked really impressive in that game, more impressive than he has in past weeks.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure. When
yeah,
you have a
you know,
four-touchdown
he
performance.
He looked more comfortable. He looked more comfortable in the pocket. He just looked more comfortable.
I think it was because him and Todd Haley are getting along a little better because I know him and the offensive coordinator having problems with, new adjustments. And he really liked our old offensive coordinator. So I think he's just accepting it, telling him what I want. He's our quarterback, so he can't make decisions like that. He's the leader of the team. So I think they're just getting back into the rhythm. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I think the Bengals are still going to win, but
Can they beat out the Jets for the wild card?
oh yes, we did. Oh my God, especially with Geno Smith's performance last week, that was ridiculous. Turnovers.
They just have to be better
turnovers.
than 8-8 because the Jets are always alternating. As long as you finish better than 8-8, you're getting the AFC wild card.
Okay, Heisman. Who you guys got?
Jameis Winston,
Bryce
all
Petty.
the way.
Bryce Petty.
Jameis Winston has, I think his QBR right now is 92.9, which is the second best in the NCAA, but also he's leading the second best team in the nation, which even though that shouldn't be a testament to how good you are individually, they always take this into consideration. They always take your team's overall performance into consideration in the
But
Heisman.
Bryce Petty is putting up 60-plus
Yeah.
points against
If-
conference teams.
If you look at when Robert Griffin won the Heisman, Baylor went to the Alamo Bowl that year. They went 8-4. So they weren't
is a good
they weren't
point.
even in consideration for a BCS game.
They did. That is.
But I
Bryce
think-
Petty's led a Baylor team who coming into the season they had no shot, according to everybody, no shot being anywhere near the BCS. They were saying Oklahoma State, Texas, Oklahoma was going to lead the Big 12, and then here comes Baylor scoring 60-plus points a game in conference play against good teams that in the beginning of the season they were supposed to lose to. I think he's done a good job.
I like the freshman though. I mean, according to the ESPN experts poll, they have Winston number 1, they have Manziel number 2,
Yeah.
and then Petty.
they have Petty number 3, and then they have Mariota number 4.
The biggest thing with Winston, like you said, is why I'm picking him right now for the Heisman. Is like you said, his efficiency. He's been over 90% in his completion percentage in 4 games now this year. And yeah, his competition isn't nearly as good as the other guys have been playing, but they have been handling him. He has been, I think his day's almost been over in the second half or in the first half the last 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah. 59-3 and something. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to wait for the Baylor-Oklahoma State game.
Yeah.
But if Baylor beats Oklahoma State, I think
Then
Bryce
you got
Petty
then
can
you
lock
got
it
to
up.
put
You
Bryce
know
Petty
what?
back in the
I'm
conversation.
shocked at all of you because none of you brought up Johnny Football.
Man-
Do not count the man out.
Okay.
Do not count him out. They do
There's
play
too much-
LSU this
There's
week.
too much politics that go into the Heisman.
Exactly.
Because
If
of
Winston,
it,
if
I
they
mean,
find
I
out more in
I
Winston's
disagree.
case,
I
then-
disagree. Man, I feel like Manziel, the way he's performing this year, I think he has a higher completion percentage for the season than Winston and Petty and everyone else. I think his efficiency has been great. He has 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which is incredible. He has more yards than anyone else.
But you said you're picking Winston.
I'm picking Winston, but I do think that if Manziel has a good week this week, then he can easily skyrocket himself to the number 1 position.
if Manziel cleans up his act and comes back next year and has the kind of year he's having,
You can't.
he will win it again.
You can't change. No, oh my
No,
God.
I
You
don't-
can't change his character. He
I
is
don't-
who he is.
that has nothing to
you
do
can't
with
say,
Heisman.
hey, you can win the Heisman if you stop partying. He's 19.
That's Johnny Football, man.
Right. That's him.
That's why he's who he is.
You chose me to be the Heisman winner last year. This is what you got, and you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michael
but
Jordan is one of the greatest
he's-
players of all time, and he has a gambling addiction.
I-
we do not talk about that at all because he's so great. So leave Johnny Manziel party alone. He's just another college
Man,
kid enjoying
Well,
his experience.
I know where he's coming from with the politics because the NCAA is a horrible organization, and they're not going to no matter how good he is, they're just not going to let him win.
Yeah, because
If
every
we're going to
time
talk about
somebody's
politics,
good,
though, then Winston's not going to win either because of this whole sexual assault.
that happens
scandal.
all
Yeah,
the time
that's-
with good quarterbacks.
It
Every
happens-
time they're
yeah.
about to get
And
somebody
they're-
has a case or somebody
they're
got a free
like-
jersey or something like that. I
They're
don't-
getting rid of that. That case just went out the window today because the woman said that she's not sure if she wants to press charges.
She
anymore.
said the guy was 5'11". 5'11". James Winston is 6'4".
You ever heard of growth spurt? Come on.
From last year, we probably would have saw that on ESPN Alert because when Paul George grew 2 inches, everybody knew going from 6'8" to 6'10". So Urban Meyer said that the college, bowl system is flawed. Is he just saying this because he doesn't get the perks of being in the SEC?
Well, he says it because he doesn't get the perks of being in the SEC, but he's not wrong. I think
yeah.
the system's been flawed for years.
But why does he just now bring it up? I mean, he
Because-
never said it was flawed when he was winning.
Because he was winning.
It's because he's not
Because
winning.
he's not in the SEC
Exactly.
anymore.
It's because he has
winning.
It's because he
He's
has an
just not-
undefeated
he's
record
just
and
not
he's
where he
not in
wants to be.
consideration.
When he was winning, he had no reason to complain about it. Now he sees the downfalls of being on the other
They
side
ju-
of it, so now
Ohio
he's going to
State
complain
has a
about
bunch of crybabies, and what they need to do
That's true.
is bump Ohio State to number 2, so Jameis Winston doesn't get killed versus Alabama, and he's okay. And then Evan Spencer gets the floor mopped up with them because he think they're so great. They need to just change it. One technicality for me, please. The people who they need to just do this just this one time, bump Ohio State up, so they can get their butt kicked. That's all I'm asking for. Because they deserve to get their butt kicked.
Urban Meyer needs to be happy with his undefeated record, finish number 3, go to the Rose Bowl or wherever, and then compete next year. Because if he ends up getting the number 2 spot, he's going to get destroyed.
That's
by
what I
Alabama.
want to happen.
I want to see
Or
that.
prove himself against Nick Saban, because you can
Just
argue who's a
accept,
better
accept
coach.
where you are, keep
Yeah.
your undefeated record through 3 seasons, set the record, and then get your.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
too
Ohio
He is.
State is going to Pasadena this year, but they're not playing in the national championship game. They're playing in the Rose Bowl,
Yeah.
which is still.
I would worry about a matchup with them with Oregon, too. I mean, the way their defense looked last week and the way Oregon's offense has been flying all year.
Oh my God. And so, hold up. So, the BCS has Ohio State at number 3, but the AP Top 25 has Baylor at number 3. Does Baylor deserve the number 3 spot?
I think they do, but at this point of the season, the AP poll means nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
true. That's very true. I mean, I think that Baylor honestly deserves the number 3 spot. I think even though their schedule has been relatively light, I still think that they've played excellent
Relatively.
football. I think they've played excellent football, and they deserve the number 3 spot over Ohio State. Plus, I just don't like Urban Meyer. He just irks me. He just makes
Now,
me.
Baylor's had a pretty not light schedule. I mean, they've played they played Oklahoma.
Ohio
They were
State has
number
definitely
5.
been a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Baylor.
yeah. Who
Yeah.
they played?
They're-
Wisconsin?
Their
That's
their
it?
best opponent is number 20, Wisconsin. They don't even play Michigan State. They're going to play Michigan State.
Because
in the Big
Purdue was
Ten.
such a
Right.
great challenge.
Ohio State's going to play Michigan State in the Big Ten championship game. And
Purdue was a big game.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a huge game.
I want to see him
Well,
beat
now
Duke.
not even
when you
Michigan.
can beat Duke, that's when I respect you. Because Duke is great.
Yeah, okay, how about Duke? They're 8-2 this year.
Exactly. But the first step is like 99,
94.
94.
They're leading the ACC. What is it? I get the ACC divisions mixed up. It's the Coastal Division.
Yeah.
They're leading the Coastal Division, and they're not even ranked. And they just beat Miami, and they beat Virginia Tech.
Exactly. Look, and they beat NC State.
Yeah.
So
Duke for the
I'm going.
national title.
Duke needs to be playing Alabama.
Duke's going
If
to
versus
Duke is not
Alabama.
ready for Alabama's not ready for Duke. I'm
Duke's
telling
going
you.
to take down Florida State in the ACC championship.
So if that happens,
That would be
Duke
incredible.
needs to be bumped up very fast. Oh my God. So did you guys hear about Virginia State and the Winston-Salem fight?
Yeah.
I'm hearing so many things. I heard 5-on-1.
I heard
then
he
I
got
heard
jumped.
1-on-1. So
I heard-
I heard he had some of his teammates in the bathroom at the time as well.
Yeah.
right. So
I heard he got hit from behind and he got sucker punched. That's what I read.
but only one player got arrested. So final thoughts. What do you think?
I don't know. I didn't really read too much into it. Yeah, we got to. What do you guys think, real fast?
Don't know too much about
Yeah.
it. It's,
All right.
enough
That's all we have for tonight. I'm Travis Nardella.
I'm Amir Carter.
I'm Hayden Sawyer.
I'm Will Ovington.
I'm Michael McGraw.
Have a great night.
It was a great day in the man cave.
Great
day at the man cave.
Great
Man
day in the
cave.
man cave.
Great.